Many thanks for joining us on the Value Chain TV News Update. I am S.A. Ufuma with the news. And on the news update, marketers have said that Nigerians should expect a price crash following the commencement of petrol production at the Port Harcourt Refinery. The CEO of Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Authority, Farouk Ahmed, said the refinery would bring down the price. Ahmed explained that the development comes as trucks began loading petroleum products at the facility for nationwide distribution. He added that the beginning of petrol production from the Port Harcourt refinery will deepen competition and ensure price reduction and availability. The refinery kick-started operations 11 months after it completed mechanical repairs. The civil key society groups in the country have repudiated the continuous deployment of militant elements to provide security to critical oil and gas pipelines in Niger Delta. Chad Moses completes the report.
In a joint statement issued by the Civil Society Coalition for Mandate Protection, CSCMAP, and the National Coalition of Civil Society Groups, said there are widespread fears that a particular militant in the Niger Delta is using proceeds of pipeline protection to import illicit weapons into the country. They have therefore called on the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to put a stop to the tradition of using armed militants to protect critical energy infrastructure. The idea, they argued, may promote another round of armed conflict and violence in the oil region. The group urged Tinubu to be cautious in engaging Niger Delta militants in pipeline protection in the region, saying that they constitute a major threat to the stability of Nigeria. The CSCMAP said the militant has a preconceived plan to divide Nigeria through armed conflicts that would start from the Niger Delta. For Value Chain TV, Chat Moses reporting.
The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has defined wholesale customer of petroleum liquids as a supplier of 10 million liters per annum. This was presented in a document by the NMDPRA at the Stakeholder Sensitization Program on Regulatory Regime for Wholesale Operations in Abuja. The document said the duty of a wholesale supplier is to provide reliable supply of hydrocarbon to its wholesale customers and remit wholesale levies collected as components of wholesale price paid by wholesale customers as applicable. Away from that, the federal government, through the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, in collaboration with the Foundation of Sustainable Social Responsibility in Emerging Africa, successfully hosted the first country's International Hydrogen Conference. The event, which ran from November 26 to 28, 2024, at the State House Banquet Hall, Aso Villa, Abuja, brought together over 1,000 participants from Africa, Europe, Asia, and America. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Gas, Ekperikpe Ekpo, served as the chief host, joined by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Industry, Trade and Investment, among others. The conference featured expert discussions on blue and green hydrogen production, investment opportunities, and infrastructure development, alongside exhibitions of latest technologies with focus on fostering partnership and promoting sustainable energy. The Federal Capital Territory (FCT) High Court has ordered the remand of former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello and his co-defendant Umar Shaibu Oricha and Abdulsalami Hudu in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) until December 3rd. Value Chain TV had earlier reported that Bello and his co-accused were arraigned on a 16-count charge of criminal breach of trust, dishonest use of public funds, and the diversion of over 100 billion from the Kogi State Treasury. Presiding Justice Miriam Anani issued the remand order after the accused pleaded not guilty to the charges. The EFCC maintains that the funds in question were misappropriated during his tenure as governor, causing significant financial loss to the state. The case has been adjourned to December 10, 2024 for further proceedings, including hearing arguments on the defendant's bail applications. And now on international scenes, Iraq's recent discovery of a significant new oil field in the eastern province of Misan has sparked concerns for Nigeria's oil-dependent economy. The newly discovered Aldima field, estimated to hold billions of dollars of recoverable oil, could potentially disrupt Nigeria's position as a major oil producer and exporter in Africa, according to the acting Minister of Natural Resources in KRG. Mohammed Salih, Ibri and Baghdad have now reached an agreement to amend the budget law, increasing oil extractions and transportation costs to approximately $20.6 per barrel. This development could undercut Nigeria's primary markets in Europe and Asia, where recent years have been seen Nigerian crude lose market share to cheaper alternatives from the Middle East. And now finally on sports, Atlanta head coach Gianpiero Gasperini has credited Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman for the team's impressive start to the season, despite the forward being an unused substitute in their dominant 6-1 UEFA Champions League victory over Young Boys. While Lookman's absence on the pitch did not hinder Atlanta's near-flawless display, with Charles de Ketelaere, Mato Retorig, and Saheed Kolasinac leading the charge, Gasperini highlighted how the 27-year-old contributions last season laid the foundation for the current campaign. The tactician added that Lookman was instrumental in Atlanta's Europa League triumph last season, netting a historic hat-trick in the final against Bayer Leverkusen. That performance not only handed the German champions their sole defeat of the campaign, but also solidified Lookman's status as one of Europe's most prolific forwards. And that concludes the Value Chain TV News Update. Do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channels for more news updates. I am S.A. Ufuma. Thanks for joining.